Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys an update on the garden. I had to take care of some pests, like I mentioned in one of the last videos, and I created a slug trap. I want to show you guys what I did as far as my version of the slug trap goes. I'll also leave some links for you guys down below, just what spurred on the ideas from some content creators that I now follow, and I thought it would be a good idea for the garden. The other thing I'll tell you about is I'll show you the zeolite spreading method that I did, and then I'm also using salt on the garden. So this is just another update on the garden before I harvest this week. And I think at this time right now, with the cold weather moving in and everything's blooming and budding and getting ripe, I think it'd be best for me to start harvesting this week. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look out in the garden. Alright guys, so this is what we've had so far for the year, and this is just the new update on the garden. You guys can obviously clearly see what has taken and what has flourished and what hasn't. So, and I think I mentioned this in the last video too. So yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the slug trap that I made. So I just took your standard gallon jug here, and if you guys can see those openings that I made a couple openings from each side and corner. So we have one there, and we have one there. I can kind of smell what I did. And we have one right there, the biggest opening too, aside from it being capped on the jug. I did that to keep rainwater out. Here's the other thing that happened too this week so far. It rained all week, so it actually washed away a lot of the salt and zeolite that I put around my plants. At the base of the plants is what I did. But I'm gonna go ahead and describe to you guys the slug trap that I created. So what I ended up doing was I filled up that whole bottom part of the jug with beer, just a can of beer. Also put in about 3 scoops, measured scoops of sugar. Not even really sure. We could probably call them about a tablespoon or 2 of sugar, pure cane sugar. And then I also put in some sort of wheat flour. The one that I ended up using was zucchini flour. That's all I had on hand. It's great for baking, but I don't know if you guys can see any slugs in there at all. Maybe this isn't a good idea to zoom in, but aside from the ones that I found when I made it the day that I made it, I threw a couple in there just to get them off my... They've mainly been going after my carrots right here, so that's been kind of concerning. Just from the ones that I found, they were just rolled up like into little balls. They weren't actually stretched out, but I think they looked like leopard slugs. So hopefully the gases, the fermentation of the gases will attract them and bring them into this jug, and some other pests as well. So, but this was the slug trap that I created. Like I said, I'll leave you guys some links in the description. You guys can check out the videos that I got this idea from, and you guys can either do what they did, or you guys can make your own slug trap like I did. So yeah, just food for thought, and here's an idea for you in a video. So at least from this angle, I'll go ahead and zoom in on my broccoli. You guys can see a little bit of white at the base there on the ground in the dirt. That's the zeolite that I used to try and get rid of my ant problem. You can also see it over there for the beets that I used. And it looks like it's still sticking around. I put a lot of it around my carrots too. I'm not gonna get too close there, I don't want to barge into the fence, but from what my friend told me, he said that I needed to lay zeolite at the base of my plants for my ant problem. What happened as an update for the garden and what was going on, why a lot of my greens have been getting eaten, is my ant problem. They've been harvesting aphids on my leaves, so I've seen a lot of ladybugs on my greens lately, which has been good. They've been a good aid in trying to keep the aphid problem down, but unfortunately it's still flourished. And as you can see, my broccoli is not turning out very well this year because of that little problem. So it's also been raining the last couple of days, so I don't think that there's been much aphid harvesting and ants running around as far as I'm concerned. But if anything, they're burrowed deep into the garden here. But I mean, this is what I get for doing an organic, natural as possible garden. If you guys have any ideas for some bug sprays that I could use on my plants in the future, that would be great. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys and just get your thoughts on what kind of a natural, maybe essential oil bug spray that I could use on my produce next year, so that way I can keep the pest problem down and keep them under control. As for slugs, I'm going to go ahead and make another trap. the next season, and we'll deal with that accordingly. And we'll see if I actually got a bunch of slugs in here or not. But I know that zoom up didn't really help very much. But yeah, I was just doing the best I could with what I had. Zeolite can help with the ant problem and the pests if I keep them at the base of the plants like I showed you here. And that was my friend's advice. And it's been a while since I've actually checked everything out here. The last couple days have been working, so I don't know. Well, time will tell. We'll see. And it looks like my neighbor, my friend, my guard of my garden, has been busy. He's found a new home for himself for right now for the season. Hopefully he doesn't get eaten by a bird. But I think he's also been helping me out with my pest problem too, so I like that. I got a praying mantis in my garden to help me out. I'm surprised that he stayed this long. I put him in here about a week ago. Still alive, still flourishing. As you guys can see, the peppers are doing great. Turning into those deep reds. I'm probably going to grab the ones that are at least red right now, but I have a ton of green ones there that still need to go red. Worst case scenario, if the first frost is just around the corner, I'm probably just going to pull them while they're green, and we'll just leave it at that. Fennel's still blooming. I got a lot of fennel right here. Nothing short of fennel. Basil's doing good. There's still some flowers popping up again, so it'll be soon. Time will come soon to go ahead and prune that back again. This is my echinacea plant. No flowers yet. I don't think I'm going to get any flowers this year, but I'm wondering if I can use the leaves and the roots for medicinal purposes. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit. If you guys know, leave me a comment. And my comfrey's doing good. It's just stretching out its leaves and growing like wild as it usually does. Fun fact I learned at work from a customer, or customers I was helping, it's a couple, they grow comfrey every year and they only eat like a leaf a day. So it's not as bad as you think it is. It's just an FDA regulation that they have to follow. To get the kind of sickness and poisoning from what they educated me on that people experience with this plant, you'd have to eat up to like 5 plants, I guess, for human consumption, or like, I don't want to say 5,000 because that seems like a bit much, but, you know, overrated. But yeah, so the equivalency to just 1 leaf to a couple of plants is way different from what they were talking about as far as comfrey goes. But comfrey is great to use topically. It makes in poultices, like I've told you guys over the last couple of videos. As far as eating internally goes, just grab a leaf, like so. And I mean, for my height and weight, this would probably be a good amount for me to eat every day. It's really not bad. Or maybe even a whole leaf. Because for what it does externally, I know that if you took it internally, it could do so much more if you're hitting it from both angles for the body and what you're trying to heal. Whether it's ligaments, bones, repairing muscles and things like that. As well as outward healing using a poultice. You consumed it internally, I'm sure that it would help with the healing from inside as well. So just some food for thought, guys. Let me know your thoughts as well on that. Lastly, from what I know about comfrey leaf, aside from eating it, I know that you can drink it in a tea. The place I work at, we do sell it in cut sifted leaves, and then leaf powder and root powder. So I mean, the whole plant's medicinal. So I really think it just depends on the amount that you use that determines you overdoing it with this herb or not. So one of the other things I did with the garden as far as the perimeter goes, and then my other plants, because I was nervous about the slugs, is I covered them with salt. So what I'm going to do, while it's not raining today, is I'm going to get at least the perimeter with salt, maybe sprinkle a little bit over the plants, which it hasn't been affecting them from what I've seen, and it's been keeping them healthy. But I'm going to go ahead and do that, and that should wrap up the video. Alright, so this is kind of how I salted the perimeter of it all, and I kind of sprinkled it on the plants. The first time I did this when I found slugs, I did a whole bunch, but I don't think I'll need to do it as much just to see how the slug trap goes. Oh yeah, one little note too, I'll be getting some white onions. They're covered in zeolite right now, but those are my white onions that I grew. It's about 5 or 6 bulbs there, little ones, but hey, it's a harvest right there, huh? I'll take anything I can get at this point with this first year garden. So sprinkle it a little bit on the leaves. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. It's not too much, and if it rains again today or this week, it'll wash right off. But Yeah, I mean, I found slugs on this thing climbing up like halfway up the shafts. So, and I had to pull at least one guy off there and throw him in the trap. So, I mean, I don't know. The last thing I want is slugs and wanting pests destroying my garden. Alright, you guys, that will be it for the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a great day. I'll take any tips that you guys can give me. Leave them in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.